Hey, this is John Cena. Smash the like button if you think that all elite wrestling pay-per-views are too damn long.
You know, people need to realize that I don't like making long videos. If I make a video that's over 40 minutes or even over 30 minutes, trust me, it's by accident. I hate making long videos. But let's talk about Max versus Daniel Garcia. This was a very good match, very solid, but I'm trying to watch this match. And I like the fact that this was a heated feud. And Max gave Garcia tons of offense that he does deserve. But I'm like, there's no way that Shawn Michaels has an interest in Garcia. I'm trying to watch this match. I'm like, there's no way in hell that NXT wants to sign this guy. I heard that Con-Man gave Garcia more money to resign because I think he tried to play leverage by saying that Shawn Michaels was trying to sign him. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch this whole entire match and I don't see it. Where would he fit in NXT? I'm like, he will be out of place. I don't see it. I'm like, why would he be pushed over Brian Pillman Jr.? There's no way in hell he will have a higher spot on the card over Brian Pillman Jr. What would NXT see in Garcia? It's like this match, it was good, but this was more so, hey, let's try to put over Garcia. Let's prove that he is a guy that can rise above the card. As usual, Con-Man loves small men. I don't know what he sees in Garcia. But this match, okay, they was doing a lot of crazy ass shit in this match. I would say this whole entire show was a blood feud kind of show. This match served its purpose, right? Hopefully, this was a huge blow off. I don't think Max should be in a feud with Garcia. I feel like this drags him down. And here is another key factor. So, why would NXT want to sign Garcia? Okay, you want to sign him. What about Darby Allin? Darby Allin is a way bigger star than Garcia. Why him? How can Shawn Michaels make this guy interesting? I view Garcia as an all-elite wrestling lifer. That's what he is. Okay, let's say he does go to NXT. What kind of upside does he have on Raw or SmackDown if he were to be called up? Like, I can't see him being higher on the card than a Carmelo Hayes or a Andrade. I can't see it. So those reports gotta be bullshit. Those reports gotta be bullshit because I'm trying to watch this match and I don't see future star of NXT. I see a guy that he only works for All Elite Wrestling. He only fits that company. It kind of reminds me of ECW. Like, half that roster did not fit the World Wrestling Federation. That's my point. Just because you are a star for this company, that don't mean your ass can be a star for another company. Very similar to Chris Daniels, right? Chris Daniels was a star for TNA, but there's no one else that Chris Daniels would have translated to the World Wrestling Federation. He fit Ring of Honor. He fit TNA. That's how I view Garcia. It's like, bro, you are a lifer for All Elite fake pro wrestling. But I just don't get it. Max had to cheat to win against him? You see, his star is going down, man. Max, your star power is going down. Let's put this in perspective. Max had to cheat against Garcia. Okay, we call this guy the best world champion in All Elite fake pro wrestling history. But you had to cheat to beat Daniel Garcia? Bro, that's a fall from grace, right? That's like Roman Reigns levels. But at least Roman Reigns had backup. You was by yourself. You can't beat Garcia by yourself? You had to fucking kick him in his dick? You had to kick him in his dick to beat him? You are supposed to be one of the best in the world, and you can barely beat Garcia? This was a con man call. Whose idea was this? And this was a long-ass match. Like, you had a long-ass match with Garcia, and you had to cheat to beat him, a guy who was not a main eventer. This match was solid, but the outcome was very disappointing and very anticlimactic. And of course, Garcia did get his heat back, right? That was cool, right? Garcia did get his heat back. But at what cost? Because, Max, why did you cheat to beat this guy? That was just awful booking. This makes Max look bad. This makes Max look like a mid-card guy. It's like his star power is going down the drain. I cannot see him in the World Wrestling Federation anytime soon. I hope that tattoo is fake. Okay, let's hope that tattoo is fake. I hope that All Elite fake pro wrestling tattoo on his leg, I hope that was fake. I do get it, right? There was tons of pile driver spots in this match. I felt like it was too many. Too many pile driver spots. What state are you in? Because there's tons of states that have outlawed and banned the pile driver. So I'm like, bro, what state are you in? Because you would never see this in the World Wrestling Federation. All these dangerous ass pile drivers. Now, like I said, I do get it. These pile drivers had backstory, but bro, give us 2 pile drivers, but not multiple pile drivers. And this dude, he gave Max a pile driver off the motherfucking top rope. Very, very dangerous. I'm like, man, I don't get it. I see that you are trying to tell a story. You are trying to cap off a story. But why would you risk your health in doing it? So what do I think about the Bucks versus Wheeler Useless and Cesaro? And yes, bitch, that's his name. His name is Cesaro, okay? So, like I said, this was a very typical Young Bucks match. I put this match on 2x speed because, listen, I don't watch these shows live. This was, you know, saying the typical Bucks Ring of Honor match. Tons of motherfucking super kicks, tons of false finishes, tons of kickouts. But this company is perfect for Cesaro. I am very, very glad that he isn't All Elite fake pro wrestling, because this dude would be lost in the shuffle if he was back in the World Wrestling Federation. Now, I have zero issue with him being an All Elite wrestler. I have no issue. But this match, it's like, why do we have to pretend that Wheeler Useless is the real deal? Why do we gotta pretend to take this guy seriously? Conman has an awful eye for talent. Just awful. First, fucking Garcia, then Orange Cassidy. Who else? Fucking Useless. All these small men. Why are they your backbone of your company? And you got Big Cass as a jobber, a bodyguard jobber. He gets choked out by a hook. You got Brian Cage, a former TNA World Champion, low tier jobber. Where the fuck is Wardlow? It's like, I don't get it. This is a small man derangement syndrome. He hates big men. But overall, this match was a typical Young Bucks match. Not that impressive. If you've seen one match of the motherfucking Young Bucks, you done watched them all. But why do we have to pretend that Wheeler Useless is the real deal? He should be replaced by Kyle O'Reilly. Why not replace Wheeler Useless with Kyle O'Reilly in the BBC? It's like, this dude is in a group with 3 former World Wrestling Federation talents. For the past 2 years, he's been carried by 3 big name talents from a different, bigger company, and yet nobody cares about him. He's not a main eventer. They have not elevated this man, right? You have to have it. If you are teaming up with 3 big names from the World Wrestling Federation and you still can't get over, you can't get over with hanging out with fucking Dean Ambrose, Cesaro, Bryan. You can't get over? You're not a big name? Those guys have given you the rub for the past 2 years. He has been given the rub by 3 big name talents, and yet nobody gives 2 shits about this guy. But Hangman still wants to push him. I don't get it. But the Bucks were the rightful winners. The BBC did not deserve to beat the Bucks for those tag team titles. So I will say this. This match was the right outcome with the right winners. Now, let's talk about Pac-Man versus Will Ospreay. This was a very good match, but let's talk about Pac-Man. It's like this is his job. This match, it pretty much defines his career in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. And keep in mind, this was a guy that quit the World Wrestling Federation. And now, look where he's at. It's like, okay, which company was better for Pac-Man in hindsight? It's going on 5 years. What has this guy done in terms of being a main event player? He is a job guy to the motherfucking stars. His job is he comes around every 4 to 5 months, and then he picks an opponent and he gets into a feud with that opponent for maybe 2 months, and then Pac-Man loses, and then he goes back to the motherfucking UK. That's Pac-Man. That's how you define his whole entire career in this company. He comes around every 5 months, and then he targets a guy, and then he loses to that guy, and then he goes away back to his home country. That is his whole entire career. Case in point tonight. So obviously, we all knew he was not going to beat fucking Ospreay, and they did show Ricochet in this match, right? He was trying to watch TV like he was Bret Hart. I'm like, this dude failed to watch TV like he was Bret Hart. I'm like, bro, how do you fail at watching TV? Bro, that's not how you watch TV in fake pro wrestling. You gotta watch it like Bret Hart did from back in the day. So Ricochet, he failed doing that. Dude, imagine, you failed to watch TV like Bret Hart. That's wild. But to get back on Pac-Man, would I call his career a failure in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling? No. I would call it very disappointing. Very disappointing. They gave you a chance to be the face of the brand. They gave you a chance to be a top guy. It's going on 5 years. Pac-Man is an OG. He's been here since day one. His first match was against Adam Hangman Page. That feels like 10 years ago. What has he done since? Besides having job guy matches these past 2-3 years. It's like, I think he faced Cesaro. I think he lost, maybe, or I'm wrong, but the majority of his feuds, he's going to lose. His job is to put over the next guy and then go back to his home country. This was a very good match. Tons of crazy ass spots, tons of near falls. It's like, yes, you can give us all these near falls, but we all know he's not going to beat Ospreay. You don't view Pac-Man in that light. So why give us all these false finishes? It's like, yes, bitch, he's not gonna beat him, so what's the fucking point? This was the right outcome. Pac-Man has no business beating Will Ospreay, and it's his fault. It's his fault that he is a jobber to the stars, and here's why. You are a short man, right? Imagine, he is a short man, which means he should be a favorite of Hangman. You are a short man, and you still can't be a main eventer in this company who hates big men. That's wild. That is a him problem. But yes, this was the right outcome. I don't know who should beat Ospreay. And no, it should not be Ricochet. Ricochet should not beat Ospreay, but he might. Even though he shouldn't, he might beat him. Even though Ricochet sucks. He sucks in this company. Why would you leave, man? Because they showed Ricochet on the goddamn screen and the crowd did not pop. And he feels like another guy on the roster. He don't feel special. He felt more special on Raw. Like, dude, he felt more special on Raw. That's crazy because he was a mid-card guy. But here, he feels like the next flippy dippy guy. Okay, he feels like the next flippy dippy guy who does flips and dives and kicks. What makes you so special if you can't talk, right? This was a bad move because now he's on a roster filled with guys who do flips and kicks who can't talk. So you blend in, bitch. On Raw, he stood out. On SmackDown, he stood out because nobody was doing what he was doing once that bell rang. But you got Will Ospreay on this roster. We got Pac-Man. We got fucking Top Flight. We got all these guys who do flips and dives, just like you. So what makes him so special? It's crazy, man. He feels like just another face on the roster. I'm not lying. Hell, was he even on the show last Wednesday? No, imagine making your debut a week prior and you was not booked on the show the next week. So what do I think about super thick Chris Asslander versus super thick Willow and Nightingale? This was my favorite match on the card because at least these two have a backstory. These two used to be best friends, so it makes sense for these two to have a hardcore match. This match made all the sense in the world. I loved everything about this match. It had fucking light bulbs, it had fucking thumbtacks, steel chairs, tables, everything. Listen, Chris Asslander, man, I think Con Man is not doing her justice because if this chick was in NXT, good lord. If this chick was on the main roster on Raw, SmackDown, she would be a megastar. This chick is super athletic. She is the most athletic on this roster in terms of the female side. This was a very good match, a very good hardcore match. I would say go back and watch because listen, you can't go wrong watching two sexy ass, super thick chicks beating the hell out of each other. That's why I loved this match. I love seeing thickness wrestle each other. This match was pure thickness. I think Chris Asslander, that chick is a star. That's the woman who you should be pushing and not Sasha fucking Banks. I think Chris Asslander is way better than Sasha motherfucking Banks. That's the woman that Con Man should be building around. And I feel like she was the rightful winner. Because for the past couple months, Willow has gotten the best out of Chris Asslander. So Chris Asslander, her ass deserved this win and her ass deserves to win this feud. Hopefully it's over. These two chicks should move on. This feud is over. But overall, this was a very fucking good match. A very good hardcore match for the women. This match makes sense. And Chris Asslander, she did deserve to beat super thick Willow Nightingale. Now, Con Man, listen, you gotta push this woman. She needs a follow-up. Whoever is the current champion, she needs to work her way up and challenge for that championship. And yes, I did see the conversation between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Man, Ricochet is out of his league. He still can't talk. Imagine, he's allowed to curse. He said shit. So he's allowed to curse and you stillborn. Imagine being allowed to curse on TV and you stillborn. That was a very weak, trash, garbage confrontation. That is wild. All right, so what do I think about Okada versus Take a Shit versus Orange Cassidy versus Mark Briscoe? This was a very, very solid match. Listen, Orange Cassidy, he had no business in this match. This is what I'm talking about. Con Man, why are you pushing small men? He was the smallest man in this match, and his offense was not believable. He had no business in this motherfucking match. Obviously, Okada won, but did he deserve to win? Because I was pulling for Take a Shit. I think Take a Shit deserves a championship. That man deserves a push. I feel like Con Man is doing him wrong. Because, okay, you gave him a manager. He's a heel. Okay, what has he done since Don Callis has been his manager? Besides being a high-priced job guy. To me, he's like Pac-Man. He is very similar to Pac-Man. He has tons of promise, but he always loses matches that he should win. What do I think about Okada? What has he done with this belt? Yes, he has good matches, but he is not the same Okada from Japan. Obviously, he ain't the same because that company takes years off your career and your life. But so far, Mark Briscoe is the third person to bleed on this show. This is a ever-growing trend. Why is everybody bleeding? Mark Briscoe, he bleeds all the time, and it's strange, right? I watched a lot of his matches when he was in Ring of Honor. He did not bleed very often. So, is this a con man move? I think this is all con man. Is con man telling these people to bleed? It just makes no sense. When Mark Briscoe was in Ring of Honor, he rarely bled. I'm like, I think he was bleeding against Lance Archer this week. So I'm like, bro, why are you bleeding twice in 1 week? It's like, man, this company is trying their best to be ECW, but you don't have the cachet. You don't have the rep like an ECW to be doing this shit. But yes, this was a very good match. It makes sense for Okada to win, I guess, but I was pulling for Take a Shit. I don't know who's going to beat Okada for that belt. My choice would be Take a Shit. You build up Take a Shit for the next 2 months. Then that's when Take a Shit beats Okada for that belt. Somebody has to beat him. So far, he's been undefeated. I think Take a Shit, he deserves to beat Okada for that belt. All right, so what do I think about sexy ass Harisha versus super mid Sasha Banks? This was a very good match, only because sexy ass Harisha carried this match. As usual, how many matches in a row has Sasha Banks been carried? She has never led a match. She always gets carried by better wrestlers. Did Shida deserve to win this match? No. I think Sasha Banks was the rightful winner because I think that Chris Asslander or Jamie Hayter should beat Sasha Banks for that belt. But this was a very good match, only because a sexy ass Shida carried this whole entire match. I don't get it. What's up with Sasha Banks and her offense? Why is her fan base so big? Why do people think her ass is some kind of GOAT? Or, oh man, she is so great. Like how? Dude, there was people that called her the female Shawn Michaels. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what? What is wrong with you? She is the worst 4 horsemen out of that group. She is the worst. She's not better than Bayley. She ain't better than fucking Becky Lynch. She's not better than Charlotte motherfucking Flair. She is the worst 4 horsewoman in that group. And she has proven it based on her run in All Elite Fake Pro Wrestling. She does not resonate with the outside audience when it comes to the World Wrestling Federation. That's what people don't talk about. She only resonates under the WWF microscope, right? She left the bubble and her ass has been boring and she has been exposed. She has never had these many critics, right? Since leaving the World Wrestling Federation. Where are all the Sasha Banks nuts huggers? When she was in the World Wrestling Federation, man, she had a lot of defenders, but now her ass has now been exposed. She is no longer protected by the WWF system. Now her ass is on her own to fend for herself. And to me, her ass has not been good. But I've always said this. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've always said for the past 4 years, she is not that good. She is the same Sasha Banks from the World Wrestling Federation. What is the difference? What is the difference between the 2018 Sasha Banks and what you see now? I don't get it. It's just now her ass is under bad management. She has bad booking. But she is the one that's doing the booking. That's the funny part. She is in control of her own character and it's not resonating. She is proof that when you give a fake pro wrestler creative control, it never works out. Look at Dean Ambrose. Look at Bryan Danielson. Look at Chris Jericho. Look at Sasha Banks. Look at Edge. All these people have creative control. What has that gotten them? Look at motherfucking Malachi Black. He has creative control over his character. Where's he at? Right? So my whole entire point is, this woman has been garbage, has been trash since she walked out from the World Wrestling Federation. Now, what are my thoughts about Jack Perry versus Daniel Bryan? This was a very good match. I think this was the second best match on the card, next to super thick Chris Ashlander and super thick Willow Nightingale. And here's why. Jack Perry was acting like a heel for the entire match. He made Bryan Danielson look good by comparison. Why? He was playing a heel. So let's compare him to the four pillars. Max has not evolved. Darby Allin has not evolved. Sammy G has not evolved. But Jack Perry has. Like I said, fuck you if you don't like Jack Perry. If you don't like Jack Perry, you don't like professional wrestling. This is what pro wrestling looks like. You have to evolve. It's been 5 years. He's no longer Tarzan, okay? He's no longer Tarzan. He is Jack Perry, the scapegoat. He is Raven now. He went from Tarzan to Raven. That's called character development. And now he's in main events, bitch. He's in main events. Where's Darby Allin? Where's Sammy G? Where's Max? Max was the first match on the card against a low-tier mid-card guy in Garcia. So that's my point. So this was a very good match. Yes, Jack Perry had tons of heat in this city for obvious reasons. But Jack Perry had a great performance. Jack had a great performance, and he's been carrying the elite. He's the only reason why they are still relevant. Just imagine if Jack Perry was not with the Bucks. The Bucks wouldn't be shit. Okada wouldn't be shit. Listen, when it comes to Okada, he's too busy jerking off to Sasha Banks, dancing in front of his fucking face. So overall, Jack Perry has been keeping this group relevant. How about you put some respect on Jack Perry's name? Stop being brainwashed, you cult fact. Oh boy, I had to cut that out. I had to cut out that clip. I almost said the F word. Now, let me rephrase what I was going to say. Stop being brainwashed by Jim Cornette. All you freaks, all you weirdos are just brainwashed by Jim Cornette, and here's why. You call him Jungle Jackoff. Who made up that nickname? Jim Cornette. So, you are nothing more than Jim Cornette dick suckers, nut huggers. That's what you are. You are a cult. That's what you are. Everything he says, you think is the end-all be-all. Bro, he is the biggest cocksucker of CM Junk. How is he credible? When it comes to talking about Jack Perry, obviously he's biased because of that dick sucker, CM Junk. So why would you take him seriously? He's obviously biased. He don't think straight. He's a weirdo. Jack Perry is the best thing on this program. I'm speaking facts. He's the best thing on this fucking program. He's the only thing that makes this show watchable is Jack Perry. He's trying. That's all I'm saying. He's trying. Now, let's talk about CM Junk. The only reason CM Junk is still relevant is because of Drew Mack, the Mac Daddy. At least Drew Mack shows up every week, right? So, how has the feud between CM Junk and Drew Mack, why is it still relevant? All right, it's because of Drew Mack. Drew Mack shows up every week to keep this feud alive. What has CM Junk done? Nothing. CM Junk will go down as the most overrated wrestler of all time. Yes, yo ass can make the argument that Jack Perry has shined because of the CM Junk incident, but vice versa. Vice versa. You can say, oh, Jack Perry, he has shined because of CM Junk. Oh yes, bitch, vice versa. CM Junk became relevant because he choked out Jack Perry. So it goes hand in hand. Jack Perry, you can say he's relevant because of CM Junk, but yo ass can also say CM Junk is relevant, and now he's some kind of badass. Bitch, I can fuck up CM Junk. How is he a badass? I can fuck him up, okay? So please, calm down. Why is CM Junk such a fucking hero? I don't get it. People always want to bring up CM Punk and Jack Perry, but you don't want to bring up the fact that Jack Perry has also made CM Punk relevant, but you don't want to bring that up. But overall, this was a very good match. I think Bryan was the rightful winner. But let's move on to the aftermath of this match. Now, people have an issue with Dean Ambrose and the plastic bag. Now, I have zero issue with the plastic bag, and here's why. Because you guys are marks. Here's what I mean. Dean Ambrose, he has to go down this route just for you to boo him. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. He has to go down this fucking route. He has to stoop down to this level just to get booed. Because we live in a new generation where what's bad is good, what's good is bad. It feels like he would never get booed. Dean Ambrose has been a heel in this company, but for some strange reason, you guys don't want to boo him. So he has to go down this route with the plastic bag. He has to fake like this was attempted murder. He has to go down this fucking route just to get booed by the fans of AEW. So yes, I have zero issue with the plastic bag because he has to do this to get monster heat so he can prove a point. The point is, I'm a heel, you better boo me. Do not cheer me. Without this plastic bag, you guys will still cheer this man. So I have no problem. See, desperate times calls for desperate measures. This was a perfect example. Just like Rocky Maivia. When Rocky Maivia was Hollywood Rock, he was not getting booed because he was too entertaining. I will call that Dean Ambrose as well, because it feels like the fans don't want to boo him. Yes, he has been a heel before, but he turned back to a face because the crowd just want to cheer him. The crowd loves him. So the fact that he had to fucking attempted murder Daniel Bryan, this was a desperate move. He has to prove that he's a heel. So this was the right outcome. This was a great angle. I have no issue with the plastic bag. It served a purpose. It proved a point. He wants the fans to boo him. Okay, he wants to make sure, yes, bitch, I'm a heel. I want you to boo me. I don't want to be a cool heel. I want to be a bad heel. This served a purpose. And that shit worked. I don't care what anybody else says. This is me being objective. I don't like Dean Ambrose, but this plastic bag, it served a great purpose. Like, bitch, I'm a heel. Boo me. I don't want you to cheer me. I'm not a cool heel, bitch. I loved the plastic bag. Now, what are my thoughts about Swerve Scott versus Adam Hangman Page? This was a great match. You see, this is how you book a blood feud. Now, this feud, it might go down. No. It is the greatest feud in all elite fake pro wrestling history. Everything in this match made sense. Now, I will say this. I felt like the syringe, that was a little bit too far, right? Even I will say that. The needle was a little bit too far, but overall, everything in this match makes sense. Listen, you want storytelling, right? This match was storytelling. This match had a backstory. Everything in this match makes sense, and here's why. This man burned down his house. If somebody burns down your house, what is going to be your reaction? This match makes sense. Listen, you wanted storytelling in all elite fake pro wrestling. Well, a broken clock is right once in a while. Tony Khan has booked this feud very, very nicely. This was a great cage match because if somebody burns down your house, if somebody breaks into your home and he comes into your child's room, right? Obviously these guys got history. Everything in his match makes sense. He just burned down his childhood home. So this match had to be violent, right? People take wrestling very, very seriously, right? Okay, let's take this story seriously, like it's real life. If somebody burns down my house, I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm going to go up and beyond to torture them, I will track them down and I will find them. So Adam Hangman Page, Swerve Scott, everything in this match was great, and it made sense for how much they hated each other. They broke into each other's house. They've been stalking each other ever since for the past 2 years. Adam Hangman Page, you can make the argument that he cost Swerve Scott his world title by distracting him in that match against Daniel Bryan. This match was great. This match was violent. Do I agree with the headshot? Because man, that was a stiff, hard-ass chair shot. Hopefully that chair was gimmicked, because man, that was loud. That was a hard chair shot. But this is how a blood feud is supposed to be. It has to be violent. These guys have to hate each other to have this kind of match. So it made sense, right? People always complain that in All Elite fake pro wrestling, they do blood for no reason when the feud does not call for it. Well, that chair shot, the fucking cinder block, the fucking shank, every weapon in this match, it made sense for a 2-year span, because this is a 2-year feud. This has been building up. Both guys did great. Both guys looked like badasses. And I think Adam Hangman Page was the rightful winner. He's hot right now. He has a great streak. He has great momentum. I think he should be the next world champion. Most likely, it might be Christian Cage, but it should be Adam Hangman Page. You gotta ride the wave. He's hot right now. I like this character. This character is a mean bastard. He has a very grumpy, mean character that I like. And he looks like Magnum PI. And just, I love this whole entire gimmick. Ever since he came back, it's just, he is a man on a mission. Like, honestly, you can make the argument that this version of Adam Hangman Page is a loose cannon-like gimmick, because he is very unpredictable. I like this version of Adam Hangman Page. This man has evolved. This is the definition of evolving, because he used to be that cringe drunk, right? He used to be that cringe drunk cowboy. This is cowboy shit. Now he has moved on. He is mature now. He is a badass dude who does not act like a cowboy. He just acts like a unhinged, crazy ass dude, and I like it. And what do I grade this whole entire pay-per-view? This was a blood feud pay-per-view, so I will grade this pay-per-view a 7.5 out of 10, because this was a blood feud pay-per-view. So obviously this show was going to have over-the-top violence, and this show proved its point, and I'm done.